is your favourite photo, Conky?
Oh, I don't know.
One behind you, one behind you. That lovely one of the woodland, Pete, I think is brilliant, by Crickback. What a beautiful photograph.
It is lovely. I used to walk there, try not to trip over the roots.
Of course. How are you feeling about it all going?
I think the weather's brighter and people are smiling and lots of absolute amazing sort of comments about the photos. Yeah. Different visions coming through in the photographs, aren't they?
There are,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah.
And that one just draws me. And I love the fact it's the first thing you see when you come in.
My title's better.
Oh.
I called it Barbara Bouquet.
How are we?
We're fine, we're fine, we're enjoying it, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, did you make that? Oh, Des. So who's the most creative in your family? You've got to say you are.
Me?
Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are.
Peter Scott's father, his last letter to his wife said, make the boy interested in nature. I didn't know that. And obviously Sir Peter Scott grew up to be a man who just loved nature and changed the way we think of conservation and wildlife. Yeah. And he was quite an early influence for me, I think, in many ways. And my parents, they weren't naturalists by any stretch, but they always got us out into nature and they made us interested in nature. My sister's the same now. And it was from there, just as a child.
Where did you grow up? I forgot.
Centre of Birmingham.
Oh, really? So city centre?
So city centre. Yeah, suburbs, but spent a lot of time in the centre of Birmingham. And yeah, not exactly a nature-friendly place. Yet if you dug around behind the back of the church, you would find all sorts of insects and bugs and wildlife there. And you just look out and there were great murmurations of starlings at that time in the city.
I remember those in Belfast in the evenings.
Yeah.
The sky was
full
full
of them, yeah. And all the roofs on the city centre buildings were just chattering with starlings, those sorts of things. And that's just where it came from, yeah.
But this is a lovely spread. You've all been busy baking. Yes?
We haven't. I haven't.
Right.
No, you wouldn't pay for mine.
I'm sure you're too modest.
No, I'm not.
Wiggly worms, shiny snails, fuzzy wasps and bees, woodlice, ants and mimicry, beetles, flies and fleas, all those little prisoners that creep and crawl and fly, they're doing such a brilliant job, so let them pass on by.
We live in a really biodiverse area. I mean, this whole valley, and it's much more than the lakes. We've got Folly Farm, we've got almost onto the edge of the Mendips. There is so much going on around here, fields full of orchids and people's gardens, that I just wanted to showcase that and get people interested and intrigued by their own, the wonders that's on their own doorstep. And quite often it is on their own doorstep. I was walking back from church the other day and on the Tunbridge in Chewvalleyn there was a lesser stag beetle. You don't often see those. We've got long-winged coneheads in our garden, and if you don't know what that is, it's not a 50s band. It is actually a type of grasshopper.
So what's all this about, Clive?
Well, we're here to support the festival here in St Andrews?
St Andrews,
in Chewmagna.
Yeah.
And we have a little Bristol book stand.
Yeah.
And we published a lovely book about Robin Prythirch and his...
Prithick.
Prithick. Oh, Prithick. Oh.
You've never known how to pronounce it all this time?
No. And we have a little book stand for Bristol Books. And we've done a lovely book on buzzards by Robin Prithick.
Brilliant.
And it's here for sale. And we're giving 10% of all sales to whatever charity the church...
Probably it's the church itself. I think we're a bit worried that it might fall down.
Perfect. To our service this morning.
One other thing I like about the competition is you've got separate children's sections.
have,
Well, we've
yes.
got school holidays coming now,
Yes,
so they've
yeah.
got plenty of time, and they're closer to the ground as well.
They're,
So
well, they are indeed close to that, and they probably like picking up the wormy things and stuff more than maybe some of us
you'd
do.
encourage more entries all
Yeah,
round.
yeah, we've asked the schools and we'd encourage more entries. We've had a fair flow, but and they're coming in now steadily, but we'd encourage more, yeah. Morning worship for biodiversity and for the Chew Valley. And it's good morning to Bishop Michael. It is so good to have our Bishop with us today, to celebrate with us, to give the prizes and to be part of this occasion. So thank you, Bishop Michael, for being here.
Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to be with you and amazing to see all this creativity and skill and celebration of our wonderful world here in church today. So thank you so much for having me. It's just wonderful joy to be with you. Thank you very much indeed.
Who has seen the white-tailed eagle that is down at Chew Valley Lake at the moment? Hands up. Handful of people. And who has seen more than one tortoiseshell butterfly this year? Well, a few more. Tortoiseshells? Small tortoiseshells have crashed another 40%. So they're just disappearing. We've got white-tailed eagles, we've got 96, and some of us have counted them, 96 glossy ibis down in the valley at the moment. But we're losing insects, we're losing our biodiversity all the time. And in fact, 3 of the insect organisations have just declared an insect emergency because we are losing them so much. So there is much that's going wrong. And I hope when we go out to make a little bit of difference and tell somebody else about the differences that we can make to bring that diversity back, to encourage it and to nurture it. All nature has a feeling. Woods, fields, brooks are life eternal, and in silence they speak happiness beyond the reach of books. There's nothing mortal in them. Their decay is the green life of change, to pass away and come again in blooms revivified. Its birth was heaven, eternal is its stay, and with the sun and moon shall still abide, beneath their day and night and heaven wide. Bishop Mike.
You've only to glance through the Gospels, the accounts of the life of Jesus, to see how Jesus used stories about ordinary, everyday life to tell people about God's love. What stories would Jesus tell?
if he were ministering in Somerset today? Would there be the parable of the traffic jam on the M5? Would there be the story about the wind turbines or about the dangers of social media? Maybe there'd be one about the cost of buying a house. These are the things of our world. But in the Gospels, we get the everyday examples of Jesus' world. So Jesus tells stories about farmers and families, merchants and dealers, kings and beggars. But as we meet here in the Chew Valley today, I think we should turn our attention to think about what Jesus' words might say to us this morning as we think about this issue of biodiversity that we're reflecting on here in church. Jesus didn't live in a world of pesticides and herbicides. For him, there weren't any combine harvesters or chainsaws. There weren't any agricultural subsidies or World Trade Organization treaties. Jesus's wasn't a world where humankind ruled over nature. Our power to alter the environment would have been unimaginable to Jesus and his contemporaries. So as we celebrate biodiversity in the Chew Valley this morning, that awareness is a stream running alongside all the thanksgiving that we offer. What used to happen when you drove your car on a summer night through a landscape like the Chew Valley? What happened when older people, tell the young people, what did you find at the end of your journey? Your windscreen was covered in dead insects, wasn't it? What happens if you do the same thing now? What's on your windscreen? Nothing. That's the change we've seen in the last 50 years. Do not worry, says Jesus, as he uses the wildlife of his landscape to put across his message. But I would suggest that in the face of the loss that we see around us, surely our response can be nothing other than to worry. Not to worry, the alternative is a blind, callous disregard of the loss and destruction that's going on around us. But, having said this, there is sound wisdom in Jesus' teaching that we've listened to today about the concern that we should have. In the face of such diminishment, Jesus' words speak about the intrinsic value that's to be found in each of us and in all that is. And I encourage you to think about that as you go around this church after the service and look at these extraordinary creations placed on all the boards that are around us. This is a wonderful day to contemplate all the beauty and the variety of the Chew Valley. And I hope that all this understanding of all the value that surround us will be at the heart of the worship that we offer today. A worship of awe that looks upon each of us and on everything that's around us, enabling us to say, you are wonderfully, marvellously made. Not just for what you can contribute or for what you can do, but simply for who you are. Each person, each plant, each animal, a precious, extraordinary, vital part of creation. If we can put these things first, our worry and our celebration of the biodiversity of this place will be in the right place. Or as our reading today put it, put God's work first, and these things will be yours as well. Amen.
Privilege to be here in Chewvalleyn today and see the contributions of a whole community in celebration of all the life of this beautiful part of the world. And I'm so proud of the work of Richard, the vicar, who's brought it all together and worked with the team that's made it all possible. And it's been a brilliant occasion for us all to be part of.
What a beautiful planet. Why would you want to harm it? We must all work to help it. Make it safe for all the children. What a beautiful planet. Why would you want to harm it? We must all work to help it. Make it safe for all of the children. What a beautiful planet.